William Carter Johnson, Pop's father, and his acquisition of the property at Popper Squash. Okay. We're talking about William Carter Johnson, my dad's father, and talking about his acquisition of the property on Popper Squash.
It was 1933 or 34. It took him over a year to restore the property. The house had burned down. The story is it was an irate housewife who burned the house down. But the kitchen area was the only part standing in rather great disrepair. So it took over a year to restore it. And it really is a beautiful house on the waterfront with almost 900 feet of waterfront, 13.5 acres at the time he bought it.
Okay, and then I have down about the greenhouses.
There was a greenhouse, a separate greenhouse down in the back part of the property. You did come in through the Kinder property because the Kinders was a farmhouse on the main estate originally. And someone bought that farmhouse, the Allens, and the Kinders bought it from the Allens. So your grandfather made an absolutely beautiful driveway with a center circle, which was very beautifully landscaped as well. All kinds of shrubbery and trees. Really a prized piece of property, which was beautifully landscaped. And the greenhouse that was down below was big enough to house 6 cars, and most of it was greenhouse originally. Then it was turned into garages later, and the greenhouse was moved up to be added to the main house so that it would be more convenient to take care of the flowers and whatever was in the greenhouse.
And he was quite well known for
he was well known for his flowers, especially the gladiolas. He had absolutely beautiful gladiolas. And I remember some woman asked me if I knew the variety of the yellow ones that he had that were so beautiful. And I said I was sorry because I didn't really know. But he also had the property across the way, across on the other side of Popper Squash Road, 5 acres of land with many stables and a little cottage. And the men who took care of the horses lived in the house across the way, the little cottage.
Well, because he had race horses.
He had race horses at Narragansett Park in Pawtucket.
And he had his own horse, King.
He had his own horse. I don't think his own horse was a racehorse, though.
No, King was
I remember King when I was way back, when I was very young. King was his horse, and Bessie was her father's horse. And they were stabled in East Providence, which is now a very busy Route 44, I think, is just about where that 44 and around the corner there, where the Tasker place, Tasker automobile place.
Right. Okay. And
do you want to go back to the beginning about so that you'll have a little bit fuller information about?
Why don't we go ahead and do that? Let's see. My father's name was William Reed Johnson.
And his...
Born on December 26, 1912, in Providence, Rhode Island, most likely at the home of his mother.
I think your father said he was born at home. That was not uncommon. I was born at home.
Yeah. Okay. And he raised my grandfather, who was William Carter Johnson, raised Dalmatians. We forgot that.
Yes, William Carter Johnson raised Dalmatians, and he had them in the stables. There were pictures of in the stable there. I'm not sure which one where probably the one across the way was where they raised them. I would think the men would have had to take care of them as well as, I don't know. But I remember seeing pictures of the dogs.
Right.
A whole bunch of, a big litter.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and then he had Jackie. And we'll tell that story later.
Jackie Andre?
No, Jackie, his Dalmatian,
Oh,
his personal Dalmatian that we had after my grandfather passed on. His father was William Reed Johnson, who was my great-grandfather. And he was a friend of the Browns.
yes, he was friend of the John Carter Brown family, and apparently had bought some land, or was given some land, I think, by the Brown family.
And that's the
And
Brown.
I think the land that your grandfather owned in Pawtucket and Providence on the line there,
Mhm.
I think that some of that was a gift from the Brown family.
Okay.
I don't quite know why, but.
And that's the same Brown family that
As
is,
the John Carter Brown family.
and that's
where the name
Brown
came from, I think.
University
Yeah.
is from.
Well,
Okay.
everybody knows John Carter Brown is.
Right. Okay, and also,